Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Sissygram Tales. If you like my voice, then hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe for daily story updates. Now, let's start the story. Alina rested in her hospital bed, her fragile form almost lost amid the array of machines that beeped and hummed around her. The sound of the machines contrasted with the serenity outside, where autumn leaves fluttered in the wind. The sight of them, so vibrant, was a stark contrast to her pale, aging hands clasped gently in her lap. Through the cracked window, the breeze brought with it a sense of change, signaling both the end of one chapter and the beginning of another. As she lay there, Alina's thoughts drifted to a distant time, a time that felt like it had just passed, but in reality was a lifetime ago. She closed her eyes, letting the memories come to her like the steady rhythm of ocean waves. It was the year 1953, a time when the world felt vastly different. Alina could still vividly recall the day that changed everything. At that point in her life, she had been known as Alex, a young man caught in the constant struggle of feeling out of place in his own body. The discomfort of dysphoria followed him everywhere, a shadow that never let up. On one particular day, Alex and his best friend John were walking through the park, discussing their innermost thoughts, fears, and dreams. The rigid expectations of masculinity in the 1950s made them both feel as though they didn't fit the mold. They talked about their desires for a life where they could truly be themselves, and as if the universe was listening, something extraordinary occurred. A brilliant light engulfed them, and when it faded, they found themselves in new bodies. Alex had become Alina, and John had transformed into Jenny. It felt as though their deepest desires had been fulfilled in an instant. Suddenly, Alina's daydream was interrupted by a soft knock at the door. She opened her eyes to see Jenny, her lifelong friend, standing in the doorway. Even at the age of 75, Jenny's eyes still gleamed with the mischievous spark that had defined her in their youth. "How are you feeling today, dear?" Jenny asked as she sat beside Alina. Though her voice was raspy with age, it still held the warmth that had always been a comfort to Alina. Alina managed a faint smile. "Oh, you know, the usual. These old bones aren't what they used to be." Jenny took Alina's hand gently, her touch as familiar as it had been all those years ago when they first navigated their transformed lives in 1953. "Do you remember that day?" Alina whispered softly, barely audible. "When everything changed." Jenny's eyes softened, filled with nostalgia. "How could I forget? It was the day our lives truly began." Together, they let their minds return to that pivotal day. The park had been alive with the energy of a summer afternoon, families picnicking, children playing, and couples strolling hand in hand. Alex and John had found a quiet spot away from the prying eyes where they could share their deepest feelings. "Sometimes I feel like I am suffocating," Alex had confessed, his voice thick with emotion. "Like I am wearing a costume I can't take off." John, understanding the pain all too well, nodded in agreement. "I know exactly what you mean. It's like living behind a mask, pretending to be someone you're not." Just as John spoke those words, the world around them seemed to freeze. An eerie silence enveloped them, and a figure appeared before them, bathed in golden light. The figure's voice was neither male nor female, but a harmonious blend of both. "Your prayers have been heard," the figure said. "You have been chosen for a great purpose." Before they could fully comprehend what was happening, the light surrounded them completely. When it faded, Alex and John had vanished, replaced by two young women, Alina and Jenny, now disoriented and confused in their new forms. Alina blinked, her hands smaller, more delicate than before, her chest unfamiliar and heavy in ways she hadn't known. Jenny, equally disoriented, looked at herself, her voice now softer and higher than John's had ever been. What happened?" she asked. The angelic figure returned, its expression serene. "You have been granted a second chance at life. Inch the bodies you were always meant to inhabit. Alina, you now possess the soul of a woman who passed away moments ago. Jenny, you are her cousin, here to guide her through this transition." The angel explained their new identities and the lives they would lead. Alina, overwhelmed with emotions, felt a mix of joy, fear, excitement, and uncertainty. "But why us?" she asked, her voice sounding strange to her. The angel smiled enigmatically. "Your hearts are pure, your intentions noble. You will use this gift to bring love and understanding to a world that desperately needs it. Raise your daughters well, and always remember the blessing you've received." With those parting words, the angel vanished, leaving Alina and Jenny to navigate their new lives. They found themselves in a modest home in a quiet suburban neighborhood, now responsible for 2 young daughters, Anna, 8, and Maya, 6. The girls accepted them as their mothers without question, as though it had always been that way. Alina marveled at how effortlessly she embraced her new role, from cooking meals to braiding hair and soothing scraped knees. For the first time, she found true fulfillment in motherhood. Jenny quickly adapted as well, securing a job as a secretary at a local law firm, handling the challenges of being a working woman in the 1950s with grace and determination. Over the years, both women watched their daughters grow into strong, independent women, facing the ups and downs of adolescence, first crushes, broken hearts, and the sweeping social changes of the 1960s and 70s. Through it all, Alina and Jenny never forgot the extraordinary gift they had been given, cherishing every moment, even the challenging ones. Now lying in her hospital bed, Alina reflected on her long life with a sense of both comfort and sadness. Though she had lived a full life, time and illness had taken their toll. She turned to Jenny, squeezing her hand. "We've had quite the adventure, haven't we?" Jenny nodded, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. "That we have, my dear. That we have." A silence fell between them, broken only by the steady beeping of the heart monitor. Alina thought back on all the challenges they had faced, the ones they may never have encountered had they not been transformed. She remembered the first signs of trouble in the late 1980s, abdominal pain that led to a diagnosis of ovarian cysts. The realities of the female body became a constant reminder of the new life she led. There had been other health issues unique to being a woman, including mammograms, hormone changes, and menopause. But through it all, neither Alina nor Jenny had ever regretted the transformation. "Do you ever wonder," Alina asked softly, "what our lives would have been like if we hadn't changed that day?" Jenny paused, reflecting. "Sometimes," she admitted, "but then I think of Anna and Maya, of all the love and joy we've experienced, and I know we made the right choice." Alina smiled faintly. "They've grown into such wonderful women. I'm so proud of them." As if on cue, there was another knock at the door. Anna and Maya entered, their faces full of concern and love. They had inherited Alina's warmth and Jenny's strength, growing into compassionate, successful women. Anna leaned down to kiss Alina on the cheek. "How are you feeling, Mom?" "I'm all right, sweetheart," Alina said. "Just reminiscing with your Aunt Jenny about the old days." Maya pulled up a chair beside the bed. "Tell us a story, Mom. One of your adventures from when we were little." Alina exchanged a knowing glance with Jenny. There were countless stories to share. Some secrets that could never fully be revealed, but many tales filled with joy and laughter. As Alina began to recount one of their favorite trips to the Grand Canyon, Jenny added her own recollections of their car breaking down in the middle of nowhere, leading to an impromptu camping adventure. As the room filled with laughter, Alina felt a profound sense of gratitude. despite the pain and uncertainty she now faced, she wouldn't change a single thing about her life. The afternoon passed with stories, laughter, and tears. As the sun began to set, Alina felt a wave of fatigue. "I think I need to rest for a bit," she said, her voice growing weaker. Anna and Maya kissed her goodbye, promising to return in the morning. Jenny stayed a moment longer, reluctant to leave. Alina smiled. "Go on home, dear. I'll be fine. You need your beauty sleep," Jenny chuckled softly. "At our age, I think that ship has sailed." After one last squeeze of Alina's hand, Jenny left, leaving Alina to her thoughts. That night, Alina reflected on the incredible journey of her life, from a young man struggling with his identity to a woman who had experienced the joys of motherhood, grandmotherhood, and now the final chapter. Her life had been full of more love and joy than she ever imagined. She thought of the angels' words from so long ago. Had they fulfilled their purpose? She liked to think they had. They had raised 2 wonderful daughters, been pillars of their community, and lived lives filled with love and kindness. As Alina drifted into sleep, she felt a sense of peace. Whatever came next, whether recovery or the final journey, she was ready. She had lived her truth, loved deeply, and made a difference. The next morning, Alina woke to find her room bathed in soft golden light. At first, she thought it was the sunrise, but as her eyes adjusted, she realized the light was coming from a familiar figure standing at the foot of her bed. It was the angel, just as it had been so many years ago. "Hello, Alina. It's time," the angel said. Alina felt no fear, only a sense of completion. "I understand," she said, her voice stronger than it had been in weeks. "I'm ready." As the angel extended its hand, Alina glanced around her room one last time. Her eyes landed on a family portrait on the bedside table, showing 4 generations of strong, beautiful women. With a final, contented sigh, Alina took the angel's hand. As the golden light enveloped her, she felt the weight of the years lift from her, her pain dissolving into lightness and joy. Alina's spirit rose from her frail body. In the window, she caught a glimpse of her reflection, not the elderly woman she had become, but the vibrant, youthful Alina of 1953. The woman she had always been meant to be, with a final, grateful thought for the life she had lived and the love she had known. Alina let go, ready for whatever awaited her next. In the quiet hospital room, the machines fell silent. The first rays of dawn streamed through the window, illuminating Alina's peaceful face. Her journey in this world had ended, but the legacy of love and acceptance she had created would live on in the generations she had nurtured. Later that morning, Jenny arrived at the hospital to find Anna and Maya already there, holding each other as they grieved Alina's passing. Jenny felt a mixture of sadness, gratitude, and a strange sense of peace. In the days that followed, as Alina's funeral arrangements were made, Jenny shared stories of their early days. Together, she edited certain details, of course, but wanted Anna and Maya to understand just how special their mother had been. "Your mother was the bravest person I've ever known," Jenny said one evening as they flipped through old photos. "She taught me what it truly means to live authentically, to embrace who you are without apology." Maya, reaching for Jenny's hand, added, "We always knew there was something special about you, too. The way you supported each other, the deep understanding you shared. It was more than just being cousins, wasn't it?" Jenny nodded, her voice thick with emotion. "Alina and I shared a bond that's hard to explain. We helped each other become the women we were always meant to be." As Jenny spoke, a weight lifted from her heart. She hadn't shared everything, but she had honored Alina's memory and the journey they had shared. On the day of Alina's funeral, the sky was clear and the sun shone brightly, just as Alina would have wanted. The church was filled with family, friends, and community members whose lives had been touched by Alina. Jenny stood to deliver the eulogy, looking out at the sea of faces, feeling a wave of pride and love. "This is the family we built," she began, her voice steady despite her grief. "The community we nurtured." Alina was many things to many people: a loving mother, a devoted grandmother, a trusted friend. But to me, she was something more. Alina was a beacon of hope, a living testament to the power of living was truth. As Jenny spoke of Alina's kindness, strength, and love, the congregation nodded in agreement. Alina had touched so many lives. She showed us that it's never too late to become who you were always meant to be. Jenny continued, her voice thick with emotion. She taught us that love, in all its forms, is the most powerful force in the universe. Though she is no longer with us in body, her spirit lives on in each of us who had the privilege of knowing and loving her. When Jenny returned to her seat, she felt a warm presence around her, as if Alina's spirit were there, giving her one last embrace. Closing her eyes, Jenny allowed the tears to fall. In the days and weeks that followed, Jenny found herself reflecting on the incredible journey she had shared. One day, as she went through Alina's belongings, she discovered a journal hidden in a drawer. Opening it with trembling hands, Jenny found Alina's familiar handwriting, filling the pages with their extraordinary transformation and the life they had built together. Alina had documented their joys, fears, and reflections on the gift they had been given. As Jenny read the final entry, written just weeks before Alina's passing, she felt a sense of peace wash over her. "My dearest Jenny," the entry began, "if you're reading this, I've likely moved on to whatever comes next. Please don't mourn me too deeply, for I have lived a life beyond my wildest dreams. We were given an incredible gift all those years ago, a chance to live as our true selves and create a family filled with love and understanding. I hope that in reading these pages, you'll remember not just the challenges we faced, but the joy we found in every day." Alina's final words were a comfort and a reminder of the remarkable life they had shared. In the months that followed, Jenny shared more of their story with Anna and Maya. While she didn't reveal everything, some secrets were too sacred. She helped them understand the depth of the bond she shared with their mother and the unique challenges they had faced together. To her surprise, Anna and Maya embraced the story with love and acceptance. As Jenny entered her twilight years, she found solace in the family they had created. She watched proudly as Anna and Maya raised their own children, with the same love and acceptance that had been the foundation of their upbringing. The legacy of Alina's life continued to live on through stories, shared memories, and the love they all carried. Their love story had evolved into something even more beautiful, one that celebrated acceptance, freedom, and the unwavering bond between them. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider subscribing to the channel, leaving a like, and commenting your thoughts.